guests today are Julia, Robert and Rudi Cole. Welcome. And sorry for the rocky start. Okay. God, I do not know what's going on with me today. Julia and Rudy are artists, dance shamans, and transformational coaches based in UK, and Barcelona. They both have an extensive career as professional dancers, performing at some of the world's most prestigious stages, including actually the opening of the Olympic Games in London. That's an incredibly huge stage, to be honest. In 2016, they founded Humanhood dance company, merging modern physics, which is the future, with Eastern mysticism, which is the past, into the body, which is the present. Their next production, entitled Infinite, will be set as a dance theater meditation, guiding the audience through a mystical journey in which the outside world of the magical dance on stage merges with the inner awareness of the observer. Julia, having the background in physics, and Rudy being a practitioner in Tai Chi and Qigong, have harvested the power of dance to awaken people's transformations. As dance shamans, they have developed their movement practice called We Flow, guiding large groups of individuals to embody their power through dance and conscious movement. So now the official parts, all the complicated things aside, you guys have such an interesting background, and actually I haven't even given you a chance to say even a hi. But hi guys, but I'll go straight into the question. You have such an interesting background, and as I was preparing, I was wondering, I wonder in your life, what came first, the transformation or the dance? And to qualify the question, what I mean is that, were you into dance and through dance you came to a transformation, a certain transformational journey, or was it that you were in search of transformation and that brought you to dance?
Yeah, well, I can speak for both of us, but at least for me, dance was the first thing. Although I cannot really separate dance and transformation, because when you are dancing, you are moving your body and ultimately you're moving your energy. So you are transforming yourself as you're dancing through this life, which is a dance. But for us, I mean, I started dance when I was 3 years and a half, and you started very young. You were in the uterus.
Since the day I was born.
Yes.
Yes, I think it's the movement of the physical body, and as that was transforming something within myself. I mean, I would be pushed in the pushchair, and as we were going past the shops, I would start moving to the music and stop. And we'd go past, there'd be no music, and then I'd just sit still. So there was always that sense of the relationship with the music, how that was transforming my body. And like Julia said, it wasn't indivisible, it was one piece. It was as we were developing, and obviously your intellect grows as you're growing up, and then you're focusing on transformation. They were one and the same. It wasn't something we could particularly separate and go, okay, now I'm focusing on my transformation. Okay, I'm going to put that on the side. Now I'm focusing on my dance. It was where the interesting question came in, how are we fusing those two worlds into the same space? So when we're working with our professional dance company, how are we bringing those two elements into that creative environment?
So I guess then the question, I should maybe reshape the question as in, I understand the dance world, well, as much as I can understand it as a spectator, but the way it looks from the outside is that people dedicate their life to dance. The dance is the life, essentially. Where did that component of actually coaching and maybe even shamanism came into this this mixture? Because obviously you have expanded beyond just dance, because of course I've looked at your, I love dance, so of course I've looked at your videos and it's absolutely spectacular, but you obviously moved beyond just the dance into explaining maybe transformation, if that's the right way to explain what I'm trying to ask. So where does that come from? How did you come to that?
Yeah, I mean, I started the physics degree, and I used to dance since I was 3.5. And for the physics degree, I sort of stopped dancing for 2 weeks. And that was the most horrible 2 weeks of my life. There was this like really tearing apart of my soul. And I was like, okay, as much as I love physics, my passion is dancing. And with Rudy also being a lot in Tai Chi and Qigong, a lot of our research that we do for our productions, like for our first duet, Zero, we went to India and we spent 4 months there, and we learned moving breath. So connecting the breath with the movement in a very shamanic way. We were learning from a 70 years old dancer who danced with the top companies in the USA. And she was passing on all these practices, merging the Indian sort of background and mysticism into the dance part. But for example, Taurus, the piece we did for 5 dances, we went to Taiwan and we really dive into the culture. Now, next month, we're going to Papua New Guinea and we're going to be initiated into a tribe. So a lot of what we create is also how do we become a vessel for something bigger to be expressed to and through us. And so that's when it became that for us, moving and dancing and then creating our performances became a sort of, I'm transforming myself, I'm receiving my creativity so it can be flown through me, something bigger than what I like and what I want to create. And so it always became that sense of the more open we are, the more, wow, the more we allow for this creativity to be expressed. And then I think it's like teaching, right? We taught many workshops and
even our journey as dancers, as performing artists, you know, let's go to that, and just moving our bodies and being in the space. And where were we drawing inspiration from? Yes, sometimes it would be the choreographer or a particular source of inspiration, but it actually required us to go deeper within inside of ourselves to feel that we were being moved.
Yeah.
We always, when Julie and myself got together, there was this immediate recognition that we were both searching for and connecting with something deeper than just the physical expression that we were bringing to the table. And that's where this world of shamanism, and of course it was an introduction to us. I wasn't grown up around shamans. It was later on in my 20s where this was introduced to me. And when it was introduced, it was like, but it's exactly the same. I've been doing this since I was a kid. I've been doing this since I was dancing. Dance, the rhythm, the connecting to the underworld, to the celestial world, seeing how it concretes and it's manifested in the physical world. It was all these layers that actually the fun of going inside the imagination, feeling like you're being moved by something else, creating a dialogue between an energy greater than yourself was something that was actually felt very natural for us.
And I think, Christina, answering like more to your question is like when we start teaching, and we taught for many years professional dancers, we were starting saying things that no one were saying in dance classes. Right? We were like relating to the earth as, you know, there's this Mother Earth, how you receive her in your feet, how you receive her in your body. Are you avoiding her? Are you holding back? Or are you softening into her, into the earth? And we work like that now with our dancers. Are you a particle or are you a wave? And how can you play with both? So we start realizing that, wow, what we're saying goes beyond dance steps. It goes further to, as Rudy was saying, what is moving us.
You know, I really like one of the messages you posted just recently, that the universe will give you as much as you can be the vessel for, the conduit for. I'm of course paraphrasing. I'm not sure if you said in those particular words, but it kind of, what you're telling me right now, it just, this message came to my mind straight away. How does that relate to people who do not dance professionally? I know it might be like probably I'm opening a Pandora's box, but most of us dance casually, occasionally, sometimes recreationally, and sometimes very privately. So how does that all relate to us? Do we all need to start dancing more?
Well, you know, we say professional dancers, but we call everyone dancers because, you know, walking can be a dance. It's just how aware are you in your body as you move through space and time. And ultimately, that's what the universe is doing all the time. So that's why we started expanding out of the professional dance teaching, and now we do We Flow, which is for everyone. So it's more about finding this flow of energy, this flow of breath, this flow of movement that is going through you, and how you allow yourself to open and receive that. So actually, it's not so much about making moves, but it's more about how much open and relaxed and soft I can be. So then I allow the movement that is already there to move me.
It'd be very interesting, actually, working with professional dancers. We have to do a lot of undoing. Yes, because of so many years of creating form, of training, of putting your body in a particular place, and sometimes with emotion, sometimes without. Actually, we found, and as Julie was saying, we found that we were approaching movement actually from a more human level. How do you feel? We keep asking the dancers, how do you feel? And it's kind of throwing them off. And like, do you not want a specific step? Do you not want me to look a certain way?
Yeah.
First, we want you to feel, then we will see the feeling. We will see you connecting with yourself. We will see you listening to your own body. And we have so much information that's already coming from our physical body. It's just tuning into that listening. Can we listen to our heartbeat? And I'd invite anyone now that's on the call, put your hand on your heart and listen to the beats that is there. It's always there. You can listen to the breath coming in and coming out. There's a movement already in the body, the blood circulating through all of the limbs. How are we connecting to movement? It's interesting. It was the power of dance. And actually, sometimes we have to go almost more fundamental, the power of movement, because everything is moving. The universe, the cosmos are in this dance of movement.
You know, I want to ask this, maybe it's a little bit off topic, but you guys have actually danced on a very serious stage, like Olympic game opening is, as far as I know, it's the pinnacle of every country's artistic expression. Yet you're talking about listening to your body, and I'm teaching the people, the professional dancers. I was born in Soviet Union, and I didn't study dance, but I studied art, and I know how it was actually in the traditional system to become high-level artists. You really have to drill the skill to the point of I don't even know how to explain it, but you become in a way a little bit of a machine. So what you're telling is the movement is in there, and you have to actually hear what's inside you, right? what's the movement inside. So how do you reconcile? You obviously have reached like super heights, but a lot of the times we have this dilemma. It's either one or the another. Either you are in the logical world, or you are in the world of intuition. Either you work hard or you go with the flow. So how do you reconcile those things?
I think you reconciling through passion. What is your passion? Because when you have passion for what you're doing, it becomes like it's your state of being. And then doing just become an expression of who you are. So if dance would have been hard work, I would never keep being a dancer. You know, I guess can speak for both of us, dance is like who we are. And it has always been a process of loving and wanted to go more and beyond and expressing more. And how can I be more truthful to this sensation that I'm feeling? How can I express more through this movement? How can I find more pleasure and joy in what I'm doing? And yeah, we dance in some companies that it didn't feel like this. And so I left, or we always left, you know, in a sense. So it's more about doing what you love. So what you love doesn't become hard. It becomes driven by your passion, driven by your fire.
That's a beautiful distinction. A follow-up question. I know it's going in a slightly different direction, but it's just such a curious topic. But if you wouldn't do it, if it kept being hard work, you wouldn't keep doing that. But when you have challenges, because I'm sure you have challenges in dance, how do you talk about that maybe, or think about that? How do you approach it so that it doesn't become a drudge or a hard work?
Yeah. For myself, it's about a learning curve. What can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? knowing that this is just a stage or a step towards the goals that we've set for not just the company, but also ourselves as individual dancers and expressors of movement. What do I have to learn from this? I think when we for, at least for myself, and this is when the transformation was beautiful, how it interlinked with the dance. So say I got an injury. Well, the injury allowed me to become more observant and to rest. So yes, on the front hand, it was very difficult. I couldn't dance, I couldn't perform, whatever it may be, but I could learn something deeper about my practice through actually looking through the lens of opportunity from a different perspective, from maybe being more inquisitive, where before I was just moving and moving and moving and moving and moving.
Yeah, also, I mean, also our way of moving, our movement vocabulary is very organic, very organic. I remember, and it's great that you asked this question, because I remember when I started ballet, I started ballet at 3 years and a half, and at 10, we bought the pointe shoes and we did the pointe shoes. And my pointe shoes arrived 2 weeks later than everyone else. So I came back to class 2 weeks later, and they already had to try the pointe shoes for 2 weeks. And I put my pointe shoes and I had such a pain. We had to like walk with them on the middle of the studio, and everyone was doing it. I guess they trained to go through the pain. But for me, it was like, this is just unbearable. This is a lot of pain in my feet. And I remember that was the last class I took of ballet. I told myself, I was, I think, 9 years old. And I told myself, from now on, whenever I dance, is for pleasure. And that's it. So the way we move is very organic, and we envision our dancers and us and everyone we dance with to be able to dance until we die, like 90, 100.
So you work not just with professionals, or mostly with professionals?
We work with a mix of both. I mean, work, but don't always work. I'm always very curious. If I'm around young people, I'm kind of working with young people because I'm really curious about how they're expressing their body. I think it's about a dialogue. The dialogue, again, it's about what is someone bringing to the table. Again, it's always going to be a mirror for myself. So I'm inquisitive. I'm curious to know someone's physical perspective. And likewise, seeing how we can work out a way that they feel more liberated in their physical body.
We had like 64 years old people in our classes and in our programs. And yeah, they're all like expressing through their bodies.
So coming back to the most important question, what's the place of dance in a regular being's life? Like, and how do you, let's say if a regular mortal comes to your class, not a professional, for transformation, what does that person go out with? Is it a regular practice, or do you use dance as a therapy in certain situations, or is it not a practice at all, but you see dance in your everyday life? How does it look practically?
Yes.
Did I puzzle you? Sorry.
It's an amazing question. Yes. I mean, I guess our dance is very elemental, could say that. So we work a lot with, we start with energy. So it's connecting with the energy, because a lot of people, when they connect with the body, they connect a lot with the matter, right? So with, the joints and the bones and the muscles. And normally this is how people like do fitness, right? I'm working with this muscle and I'm really focalizing with the matter of my body. Now, what we want people to start tuning into when they come to our workshops is to connect with the space in the body. Because when you connect with the space in the body, that means that you're open to more possibilities, but also you feel lighter, you feel more available, you start feeling more the subtleties of your body. And so we're using like very simple, basic movement patterns with the breath, with the energy, and always tuning in, closing the eyes, just listening what I'm feeling, how I connect more and more to the space, more to the space, more to the space. And then we'll go into something very tribal, which is rhythm and pulse. So we will be like bouncing and allowing the bounce then to take over our bodies, because many times we hold tension. So when we're bouncing, we can actually see where are we holding tension and allowing the weight, the gravity to sort of release. And we will finish then with a very fluid quality. So how can you merge both? How can you merge the space with then the body, the fluidity?
So considering that I'm wearing my old jeans at the bottom so nobody can see them, can we try something practical just to give a taste of what you guys are doing? And I mentioned my jeans so that I don't need to to show too much of my body.
Yeah, we can actually do it.
But I have a beautiful t-shirt, by the way.
Yes, I love those wings.
Okay. Shall I start and then you go through? Great, fantastic. So I'm going to get everyone to rub your hands together. And as you're doing so, relax your shoulders. Relax your shoulders. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Relax your neck. Allow your head to be a little bit soft. It doesn't need to do anything. The hands are going to do enough motion for the rest of the body to open. Yeah. Brilliant. Now we're going to come from this place here in the shoulders, and you're going to sweep all the way through to your thumb and the other side, sweeping out through to the thumb. Let's do this a few times on each side. We're actually sweeping the lung meridian. So in Chinese medicine, we have meridians all over the body. This is the lung meridian. Feeling like you're ironing out any creases in the arms. One more time each side. And then just resting your hands down for a moment. I just want to bring our awareness before we do one more movement. Feel the soles of the feet in the earth. Just feel for that connection. All you need to do is bring your awareness there. You don't need to do anything else. And then draw your attention to the crown of your head. Feel the crown of your head open.
You can feel the matter of your body relaxing down with its weight flowing down. And at the same time, an energy floating up, releasing up.
Blink your eyes open if they're closed. And I want us to do this motion. So you're going to up through the middle and then out, round, and then down. So if you're standing, you can do this really big with your arms. If you're sitting, just use the space where you are. And I want you to connect with the center of the soles of the feet and feel energy from the earth coming all the way up through to the crown of the head and then around you like a waterfall, drawing all the way up and through the inside of your body, softening all the way down. Keep focusing on this flow of energy. Your arms are just going to move. You don't need to think too much about them. We're connecting with that energy coming through the soles of the feet, up through to the crown of the head, and then like a waterfall all the way around you down into the earth. Let's do 3 more times. Maybe connecting with your breath, breathing out as you go down, breathing in as you come up, breathing out as you come down. Last time, breathing in as you come up, breathing out. And place your hands on your heart center.
And keep that flow of motion. So close your eyes and still feel the breath traveling through you. From the earth, through your body, out to the top of the head and creating this waterfall. And then see if there's any movement that arises. You can maybe like sway from side to side, front and back. Almost like a seaweed at the bottom of the ocean being moved by the currents around you. So the currents are around you, they're also inside you, they also pass through you. So feel like you're being moved by these currents.
Gently rest the hands down on the thighs. And opening the eyes. And then just for a moment, feel into your body. Simply feel. Simply feel your physical body.
There's nothing we need to change. Only observe and listen. And you can have a feeling when you breathe in and you breathe out, when the breath comes in and the breath flows out, that instead of you breathing, you are being breathed. The space is breathing you. The universe is breathing you. One breath. And release. Open the eyes. Come back.
How do you feel, Christina? How do you feel, everyone?
It's considering the beginning of this session that was so well timed. Thank you so much. It's good to just, you know, I really love this analogy of seaweed, not analogy, but just this image. I remember when I was pregnant, I loved swimming because when you walk around with a huge belly in front of you, it's like, you know, gravity works extra hard on you, and then in the water it just kind of keeps you up. So I really love this seaweed image in my brain, because suddenly I felt like so much lighter. You know, first of all, I want to ask dear friends who are with us. You also you anticipated my question. I wanted to ask you to share how you feel, and maybe share it in emojis so that we can see it more vividly. I love emojis. They're part of expression in some way. I want to ask, so it is obviously a very pleasurable practice to listen to your body, to trust it, to go with it. I actually have quite a few questions. Question number one is it for everyone? Can everyone dance? Because there are people who are very wooden, and they it's so hard for them to even I don't know, to move, to hear the body. Is this kind of practice, is it for everyone? Is it something which is hard for people who are, sorry for calling them wooden, I do not know what's the official name for that, but for people who are more constricted in their movement? And if it is for them as well, how do you break through that barrier?
Yeah, I think, it's for everyone. And for, say, the person who are more wooden, like you call them, most of the time is like we hold a lot of like almost like frozen patterns in our body. And actually movement is healing. Movement is healing because it's life, basically. It's life going to and through us. And so you can go as far as you want, right? We are using like very simple and repetitive movement patterns. Then even when we are bouncing, yes, you might see some of us, even us, going like full on deep, and people will like actually just let go and go with it and bounce and relax their arms and like really find that rebound and lose themselves, like actually forget a little bit that they're like wooden and start like, wow, actually my body wants it, my body is asking for it, right? My body is actually celebrating that movement is coming. Because a beautiful thing about dance, especially for me, is celebration. Is celebrating. Like dance, it was coming together and celebrating around the fire. And even if we wanted more rain, so it was celebrating that there was already more rain. So even if, you know, we want to be healed, and it's celebrating that we are healed and allowing the body to be the catalyst for that expression. So we don't need to work through things in order to get to a point. It's actually the opposite. Let's celebrate Let's celebrate and feel great within our bodies, because we can. And then the rest will unfold. We had people like with injuries coming, or even like people going through rape and all this, right? And doing our practice and just trusting again their bodies, trusting again the intelligence of their body.
I guess there are a few aspects. There's this process of trusting your body, and that's probably more relevant in the context where you have to dance in public and you feel awkward, like, am I doing the right thing? And then there is the question of our social conditioning. Maybe I'm mistaken. Because if I look at kids, you can't strictly speaking call that dancing, but they're moving all the time. And then with time, of course, we restrict that movement, because I remember when I had a baby, I used to like sway quite a bit. And then I noticed that I would stand in the shopping mall and then sway the shopping cart and felt super awkward. So there are a few elements of trust. Am I doing the right thing? Trusting your body, but then on the other hand, trusting the people around. Are they going to look at me like I'm weird? Does it matter? Do you have anything to say to people who actually would like to be a little more loose, but they just think it's maybe inappropriate?
Yeah, definitely. Establish a rapport with your body. Just as we did now, it's finding a communication between this thing that we call home. Yes, this physical biodegradable spacesuit, as Jean Houston calls it. We have it for the time that we're on this planet, and it's about a relationship that we have with it. So it could be just moving your little finger, right? There's movement there. There's a dance happening there. Not it might be imperceptible to the person in front of you, but you know that you're creating a relationship, a movement relationship, a dance relationship with your body. You're giving instruction to your body, and your body's becoming expressive, and you're allowing expression through the body. So yes, you're not going to be walking, unless you're me, walking in the middle of the supermarket and then breaking into full expressive dance. But it might be that you become aware of how you're reaching for a product, right? It might just be how you're aware, reaching for a product and putting it in the back and then placing it very lightly. Exactly. And that won't catch other people's eye, but you've created a rapport with yourself. You've created a dialogue with your body to be expressive. So I'd say find it in the everyday actions. Find it in small details. We're growing. We have the joy of this being our profession, our expression, but we can find it in every single moment.
And it's what you say, Christina. Actually, yes, as kids, we move in our own unique way. The body is just free to do what we want, and even if we look clunky, we don't care. We just go, and then poof, and then even if we look clunky, but then we start to sort of like become like, okay, no, I cannot do this because it's not accepted, or this is not how people do it, or we have to sit for hours in a room in school. And so we start becoming more like limited into this mold. But actually I think even now the world is becoming more a place to refine your true movement, your true expression. And everyone is unique. And this is something that I can say that as dancers, even going through the training, for me, it started to really speed up my process of expression and dance quality when I start saying, I don't want to copy what everyone is doing and the shape that they're doing, but what it is unique in me. And when we teach professional dancers, we always say that, because if you try to do only the technique, there's always going to be someone else that looks better than you, because you can have more extension in your leg, more like flexibility in your back, right? But when you go to what is unique to you, what is the quality? Maybe it's the fluidity, maybe it's your clunkiness. We have a friend that he's super clunky, and that's what people love about him, and that's why people hire him. Or maybe it's your power, or how deep you go into the earth. So everyone will have our own uniqueness and in the movement. And so it's refining that. So it's not copying, it's finding your true expression in your own body here in your home.
Mm. I know I'm going to ask a very unfair question. So how do you learn to trust your body again? Because why I'm asking it is because it seems like so simple that you don't even know where to start explaining, yet it's so hard. And also we get bombarded with the ideas, with the messages that you can't trust yourself. You can't trust yourself with a lot of things, with what you eat, with what you do, with your moods. You can't trust yourself with anything, literally. That's the message we get a lot. So how do you learn to actually believe your body, that if it says that I'm clunky, that's what I am, and I trust it, and I love it the way it is?
I'd say be grateful for it. The heart is beating every single minute. The lungs are expanding and softening. Our digestive tract is doing their work. Our skin is rejuvenating. Our hair is growing. Our hair is growing. Our hair is growing. Our hair
That
is
should be
growing.
enough to celebrate and dance.
There's a lot. I think as it's always going to be a process. And of course, we're not coming here like do X, Y, and Z and then epiphany. It's about the journey. It's about the flow down the river. So are we facing upriver and are we saying things are hard and we can't trust our bodies? And if you actually just
in our mind,
we turn downstream and we just recognize, even if it was just that, just as we do in meditation, or just with anyone can just do this, opening the soles of the feet and the crown of the head, doing this motion. You're bringing your awareness to your body and you're actually saying to your body, my mind, I'm here for you. This is my time focusing on you. And I'm already grateful. And by doing this practice, I'm appreciating that these things are happening. All of the subconscious actions of the body are keeping me alive.
Yeah. And also to go away from your mind is to focus on the sensations, because we can be moving and like, oh, I'm not doing right. And then there's this sense of like, okay, we're still in our mind and we look down in our bodies from our brain here. I am doing good. Hey, down there. But no, we have to bring this down. And instead of thinking I'm doing good or wrong and judging this sort of logic mind, it's bringing down, say, how does my sitting bones feel in the sofa, right? How does the soles of my feet feel in the ground? Wow, are my ribs expanding? And then you forgot about all that. You forgot about I'm doing right or wrong because you're actually listening. And so there's something very different, like moving and keep thinking, or allowing this to drop down and then allowing the sensations to come and listen to them.
I just somehow this question bugs me right now. So on one side, if you listen to your body, you kind of and find this comfortable place, you should be naturally aesthetically appealing. Yet we are very often crooked and tense and a little bit not straight. How does that happen? Because it is obviously not very comfortable to be hunched or to be sitting wrong. And I'm talking about purely ergonomics right now. How do we get there that we actually become comfortable in incredibly uncomfortable positions?
Yeah, it's crazy. We become comfortable in thinking so many like thoughts that are so polluted that then the body becomes that. And that's what we, these thoughts define us. We allow them to define us. The body takes its shapes, the body embodies them. And so this becomes our reality, becomes our identity. And so this is how we are, because this is how we always felt. This is how we always think. But then it's about, instead of wanting it to be different, right? Instead of wanting to, okay, no, I need to change that. It's actually about listening, because the body is always speaking. So the body is actually telling with this, maybe there's, an emotion inside that is connected with I can trust the world. You know, I need to hide myself. I can be hurt. So it's listening to the sensations beyond what our mind is telling us, just listening to the body and the sensations. And then instead of focusing so much on this, focusing on what needs to be changed and just focus there. So you make it more and more, is actually opening up the focus and allowing the focus to go more into the space than the matter. So it's like when you focus a lot in the finger and you focus in here, you can either focus in the finger or you can use the peripheral view and open up, which as dancers, we use this a lot because you need to dance in unison with other dancers without looking at the person. You know, Rudy will be moving and then I would not be looking at him, but I will be doing what he's doing. And that doesn't mean that I'm, you know, I don't need to like look, but I know what he's doing without looking. So it's a bit the same when you focus on your body. If you're focusing too much on where the tension is, you're actually creating more of that, because where your focus goes, your energy goes, right? That we heard from many people that. And so instead of that is listening and then opening your space and opening your focus to the whole body. And this is a practice every day. We don't have many injuries as dancers, and I believe it's because of we allow this power to move us and to listen to that instead of forcing.
Thank you. I do have some issues with internet, so I hope you guys are not losing the connection. I lost just for a few seconds. I do have a few questions too. And let me see if these are questions or just comments. Okay, there is a question from AK. What are the health benefits can I expect from this kind of dance? And I believe this kind of dance is a similar practice to what we just did.
Wow. Well-being, I mean, more present, more calm, well-being, opening in your joints, more confident, more intuitive, better sleep at night. I mean, we could say all that, but the most essential part is that when you're dancing, you are moving life through you. You are becoming part of this cosmic dance. You're not thinking what needs to be done. You are being and celebrating that you are here. And ultimately, that's what dance came to be, is an expression of the happiness and the joy for being in this planet. And many times we think like we need to work hard to achieve things, but we are learning now with all these people that also are coming up about manifestation and all this. It's actually the opposite, the other way around. Is you celebrating the life, celebrating that you already have what you want, celebrating that you have a body, connecting with the gratitude. And then it's not only like physical benefits, it's like your life starts to change, because that's the difference between thinking in a way and then embodying it. That's a big step that a lot of people are missing, right? Because, okay, I want this, or I want more health, or I want this job, or I want this place. But then what is the body telling? We cannot bring new things into our life if our body is telling an old story. So it's once you start allowing this flow to go through you, then it's not only your body that opens, your health that opens, it's also the reality around you that opens.
I know there are a few more questions, but I of course have a whole bunch to add to the question from AK right now. I guess one question would be, so how does that express itself practically in a regular human being's life? Do you suggest that every human being just finds dance in everyday movements? Or do you have a certain dance, not routine, but let's say dance practice, which you can do like, let's say 15 minutes, 30 minutes a day that people follow and that helps them get into a certain state for the day?
We have a platform.
Well, we have the platform WeFlow Experience. Which is great because it's an opportunity if you don't feel, or if you feel that being guided into movement is really your entry point And the entry point, and this is always for everyone, your own individual expression of movement. That is dance. The individual expression of movement. That is dance. Dance is not certain steps on a certain time in a certain place. That might be choreography, but it's not dance. Dance is the individual expression of the individual with their physical body. So however you want to access that, if that's first thing, I'm just going to like do a little funky dance before I get in the shower. There's your dance. You've done your dance. If you're going to just be conscious of your body when you're reaching for something, like we were saying in the supermarket, that's your dance. I think the dance, we always need to turn it back on ourselves, not on the outside. Like I said, there can be great entry points, and that's why we did establish We Flow, that people can have an entry point to get a heightened sensitivity to their energetic body, which is a great access to the physical body, because that's where we go through to the senses, and the senses being the source of our listening to our body, but we're going right through to the individual. It's what you do, it's how you feel.
So do you do workshops online, or is it for people who are in UK, they can come and move with you?
Yes, we have. So weflowexperience.com. This is the online platform. It's actually, we created during the lockdown, worldwide lockdown. And we decided to go into these natural parks and move in natural parks in different areas and take the energy and move. And we record it and we put it in an online platform. And then we have workshops that we also teach online, and workshops that we teach in person.
Yeah, we have an upcoming retreat in Barcelona in the beginning of next year, and that's going to be an opportunity to do in person, because in person you'll feel what we're bringing to the table, asking questions, that dialogue, and the music is a big part always for us. So yeah.
I know there are new questions actually coming in. I hope I'll get to ask at least one of them. How much time do you guys need for the closing dance, so that I can time if I have a space for one more question?
1.5 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Then I have a little bit anthropological question. So obviously dance was one of the first forms how humans started expressing themselves. I believe it probably started before the visual art, before we grabbed something and started painting. And I've been going to some of the tribes which are still living a little bit more traditionally than what we do right now. And they actually don't just celebrate. They actually, I know there are dances for war, for diplomacy, for all sorts of occasions. And today, dance has very little space in every human, like in a regular human's life. Is like, I think my question is, how did we get so screwed up? What happened? Why did we lose it?
Yeah, I guess it's always this, the logical mind thinking that it knows better than our natural way of being, and this the rationality of wanting to explain how things work, and when it was not able to make sense of it, then categorizing it as foolish or childish or something from the past. And I think dance is beautiful. I just say, yeah, it's not only celebration, of course, it's also preparing for war. And actually dance, what allows you is to go through this logical mind, go through this rational mind, and tap into another state of consciousness that allows you to receive answers beyond what your state of consciousness before was. And even for the war, like, how can you prepare for that? It's like, this is unhuman in a way, and so I believe is this, our rational mind not being able to find an explanation why all these wonders and miracles are happening when we are dancing, when we are being who we are, when we are tapping into this childlike wisdom that we come here with. And because we cannot categorize it, then we just push it aside.
And I think if we're thinking historically throughout, we had dance which had a very tribal aspect to it, and that was taken and then ballroom, and then we have the tango, and we have these certain forms. And as Julia was saying, they became very technical. The dance is actually transformed into something very aesthetic. And how do you look, and how are you executing the movement for it to look pristine? Yeah. But I really like the idea of the evolution of dance, that actually, even if we feel like right now, as you were saying, there's a limit and we don't have a lot of dance expression, with the right platform and with the right mindset that we have right now, it's about our own dance. We're dancing as a collective, but actually we're not here to just follow someone else's steps. That's the paradigm that we've reached to right now. Everyone has their own Facebook or Instagram or their own blog. That we're finding, actually, and there's always two sides to the coin, but my view, we're finding that we can be very individual. So when the dance comes back, it's actually going to come from that place. How is the individual dancing? And then what are we bringing to the collective as an individual?
Exactly.
Cool. It's such an interesting conversation, and I wish we had a little more time, but unfortunately here on this platform, we have to finish everything on time. Sorry, guys, that I didn't get to ask all the questions, but I was alone today, so I was a little naughty. So traditionally, I want to ask you guys to leave a huge heart for my wonderful guests. Rudy and Julia, thank you so much. And I'm mindful that we have 2 minutes. Can we dance now?
Of course we can dance now.
Of course.
Definitely.
Yes.
So whether you're sitting or standing, what we're going to do, I'm going to stay sitting for now.
Yeah, we'll be here, so you don't.
So just move your shoulders, move your shoulders, move your shoulders. Keep moving your shoulders, move your shoulders.
Allow the head to relax.
Woo. Move your shoulders, move your head.
And then if you want, like, tap into anything, like your vision. If you have a vision in life, tap into your vision. And allow your vision to take over your body.
Remember, it's how you're feeling. How do you feel?
So how your vision moves your body.
Let's go a little bit longer.
And then how does your shoulders feel? How does the waves that come through your body feel? And then allow it to become a bit softer. So you start finding more fluidity. Instead of so much bounce, maybe it's more fluid. Wow, and feel like the space is supporting you. So the space around you is actually supporting you, massaging you, bringing from one place to another. It's like you're being taken care of. The space around you is slowly caressing you, gently pushing you from one place to the other. And then gradually find that point of equilibrium, find that point of balance. And let it be like almost it's the first time that you find that point of balance. So be explorative. Maybe the weight is a little bit more towards your right sitting bone or the left. And gradually find that balanced place between your right and your left sitting bone, between forwards and back, where you're just suspended. And once more, you're connecting with this matter, the matter of your body, relaxing down. And at the same time, the energy releasing up. So you're relaxed, but suspended and held up at the same time. Breathe in into the fullness of your body. Breath into all cells of your being. And breathe out to open the eyes. Yes.
Thank you, Julia and Rudy. Thank you so much for coming. And yeah, thank you for bringing this dance into our lives. It was a wonderful session. And thank you everyone who joined us. I hope to see you soon, next week again. And hopefully I won't be alone, so it will be a little bit easier on everyone. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Take care, everyone.
Kisses to